Okay, Rams, today's video is about dividing decimals. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple of rules here. First, the standard is 6.3e. That is multiply and divide positive rational numbers fluently. And remember, rational numbers can be fractions or decimals. We've got to get fluently means you can do it basically without thinking. You know the steps and you can jump right in and solve any problem. Okay, first thing right here, what patterns do you notice here? Okay, I have no decimal out here. This is 4 and 92 hundredths divided by 12. Okay, notice your decimal is right there above that. Okay, well over here, what do you notice? 49 and 2 tenths divided by 12. Again, my decimal is straight above it. So what do we notice here? We could say the decimal and the answer. Now, the correct word for that is quotient. Is straight above the decimal and the, small dividend that's in the house. Okay, and I'll say house. Okay, the decimal up here is straight above the decimal in the house, as long as there's not a decimal out here anywhere, okay? Now, this is called the dividend right here. This is the divisor and the quotient. All right, so the rules are here. Oh, right here first. What happens if there is a decimal in the dividend only? That means inside the house only and not out here. Then we just say the decimal in the answer is straight above the decimal in the dividend. We have the same information as right there, okay? What happens if there is a decimal in the divisor only? And we'll get to that one. That's a little bit tougher, okay? But right here, okay, when there's no decimal out here, then I just divide like normal and move my decimal up. But when there's a decimal out here, we have a little bit different rules, okay? If there's a decimal here, I've got to make this a whole number. There cannot be a decimal out here in the divisor. So what this means is that there cannot be one right here. I've got to move it over. And basically what I'm doing is multiplying it by 10 to move it over. So if I move that one over one space, I've got to move that one space. I'm multiplying it by 10 also. You see what I did there? Move it over. And now my decimal is actually over here. And now it's going to go straight above. Okay? We just move it over. All right, so our rules here. Let's fill in the rules. Okay. No decimal in the divisor. Okay, we cannot have a decimal in the divisor. That's out here. Okay, that number you're dividing by has to be a whole number. Okay, if there is one, you must make the divisor a whole number. Okay, if there is a decimal out there, you've got to make it a whole number. We made this become from 1.2 to 12. Now, but whatever you do to that decimal there, you do the same in the dividend. Okay, so if I move that decimal 2 places out here in the divisor, I'm going to move this one 2 places in the dividend. Basically, I'd be multiplying by 100 and then also multiplying by 100. Not divided. Dividend. Sorry. Left out a letter. Okay. Now, then you just divide like normal, ignoring the decimals. All right. So the decimal in the quotient or answer goes straight above the decimal in the dividend or in the house. Okay. All right, make for sure you have that written down. Now, this says what happens if there's a decimal in the divisor only. So it's like saying 13 divided by 0.4. Now, I do not have a decimal in there, right? I do not have a decimal inside here. But, okay, 13 is the same thing as 13.0, right? So if I can add decimals and zeros, and then I move it over, multiplying by 10, okay? And then it's up there now. All right, I just move it over a few places, and it would go over here now and then straight up. So if I have a whole number here and a decimal out here, I can just add a decimal and a 0 and keep moving it as much as I need. Okay, we're going to practice a few. Okay, first thing here, when you're looking at a word problem, how do you determine which number is the divisor or the dividend? Actually, not even a word problem. The divisor is what you're dividing by. We also call that what you're grouping, if it's in a word problem, okay? Your dividend is your total amount. What your total is. Okay, so I'll put grid paper here because we're going to use that to organize our work, okay? Okay, we'll put a couple places here. So this is 64.8 divided by 0.04. All right, so let me grab another colored pencil or pen here. Okay, I have a blue one. That works. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I need to make this a whole number. So I'm going to 400ths divided by 100. I'm moving over 2 places. Would make it a whole number. So it means I have to multiply this by 100 and move my decimal over 2 places. And it goes here now. So what I have is 6,480 divided by 4. These are gone now, so it's 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. 4 times 1 is 4. I subtract and get a 2. Now I bring down this 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times. So my 6 goes above the last digit in 24. 4 times 6 is 24, and I subtract and get a 0. I'm going to bring down my 8. 4 goes into 8 2 times, so my 2 goes above that 8 right there. 4 times 2 is 8, and I subtract and get a 0. I'm not done. It's not 162 because I have another digit over here. So I bring down my 0. How many times will 4 go into 0? 0 times. And now it's done here, okay? Because I would say 4 times 0 and subtract, okay? 1,620. Okay, so this one is already set up for us. So I'm going to line these up a little bit better and give us a little room to work, okay? So 2.4 and to 8.496 or 8 and 496 thousandths, okay? Cannot have a decimal out here. So I'm going to move it over. I'm going to multiply by 10, multiply by 10. So now it goes right up there above it, okay? So 24 times 3 is 72, and I subtract and get 12, and I bring down my 9. Oops, 9. So 24 times 5 is 120, and I subtract and get a 9, and then I bring down my 6. 24 goes into 96 how many times? 4. 24 times 4 is 96, and I get a 0. Okay? 3 and 54 hundredths. You can think about it as 2 times 3, somewhere close to 8. Yeah, just double check that for estimation for reasonableness. Okay, so what tells you that this right here is a division problem? You have a pitcher that holds 39.3 ounces of lemonade. Each glass holds 8.8 ounces. How many glasses can you completely fill? Well, you have a total amount, and you're trying to break it into equal smaller parts. Okay, that's what I need you to write here. All right, if you have a total amount of something, your ounces of lemonade, and you're breaking it into equal smaller parts. So 39.3 divided by 8.8. Now, that's not a whole number, so I'll move it over one place and make it whole. Move that over one place, and it's also a whole number. So really what I have now is 393 divided by 88. Well, 88 doesn't go into 3. 88 doesn't go into 39. But 88 will go into 393 4 times because that's almost 400. So 88 times 4. Wait, 8 times 4 is 32. 32, 33, 30, 352. Okay? So 41. All right, so what I could do is just add a decimal and keep going. How many times will it go into 410? I believe it's probably still going to be the same thing because this is only about 60 higher. So I'll say 4 and 352. I'm going to stop after this one. Okay. That's 58 here. I could keep going and say, oh, I bet it goes in like maybe 5 times now or 6 times now. That's okay. I'm going to stop. And we say that works, okay? Last thing is your summary. What I need you to summarize is that there can be no decimal in the divisor. No decimal outside the house. If it is, you've got to make it a whole number. And then you move it straight above the quotient. Okay, straight up to the quotient. All right, Rams, I know that was fast. I wanted to keep your video short, but hopefully you paused as much as you needed and made it work for you. Okay? See you in class.